CNN. Whoop. Hey, the camera just went off. I can't imagine. I'm not against the media. I'm against the fake media. If you look at CNN, the way they cover me, no matter what you do, it's negative, hits. Media outlets like CNN and MSNBC are fake news. Fake news. Take a look at CNN. It's a complete hit job. No matter what you do, no matter how good, no matter how great it is, they don't report it in a positive fashion.
And that was President Trump calling out CNN for its constantly one-sided coverage of the White House. And a recent Harvard study is bolstering the president's complaints, showing that 93% of CNN's coverage of President Trump was negative from January until the end of April. Of course, what that study doesn't show is just how downright nasty and vicious the network has been towards President Trump. Take a look at some of the worst examples.
Is this president trying to impersonate Hugo Chavez, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Vladimir Putin? Because this is exactly the kind of language that leaders use when they are trying to undermine the press.
It's like we're just covering bad reality television is what it feels like now.
It's a grotesque abuse of power by the President of the United States. This is the kind of thing that goes on in non-democracies.
Apparently, the president gets 2 scoops. You know, everyone else around the table gets 1, and no word if there were sprinkles.
At the dessert course, he gets 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with his chocolate cream pie instead of the single scoop for everyone else.
He's gained weight, according to these sources. He doesn't trust people around him. He's withdrawing. Not a good picture.
He now lives within himself, which is a dangerous place for him to be.
If he wants to say that, Barack Obama wants to say whatever. If George Bush says, I looked in his eyes and thought he was
took a dump on his desk, you would defend it.
The only winner, the only people who've got to be happy tonight are sitting in the Kremlin. Now he's President Snowflake, okay? Everything he said, oh, they're mean to me and they don't like me and I just don't understand it and it's not fair. This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against a black president in part.
Joining us now is reactionist, psychology expert, and radio talk show host Gina Loudon, as well as filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza. Thank you so much for being on Hannity tonight. Dinesh, I'm going to begin with you. So what do you make of this, the recent jab that the president took at CNN on Twitter, the meme that he put out, and this, comes on the heels of them having to fire 3 of their reporters, apologize, a retraction, and then now the Harvard study showing just how biased that their stories have been over the course of time that they did that analysis?
I think that CNN and much of the national media is very dismayed because Trump is the first Republican president to strike directly back at the media. Previous Republicans have either ducked or tried to ignore the media. Even Reagan, in his avuncular fashion, tried to go over the heads of the media. But he never confronted the media with the same gladiatorial directness as Trump. So I think with Trump, he's a culture warrior. He's fighting not just on the political, but on the cultural front. He knows how to get to these guys. He's very good at it. And the reason that they're upset is not because he's ineffective. It's because he's so effective.
Yeah, I think that's very true. Dr. Loudon, what do you make of this? Because you saw there at CNN, they were calling him, and Van Jones called him President, Snowflake, saying that he's just being too sensitive. Then they were doing some bizarre psychoanalysis, saying that perhaps he's lonely and angry, and that's why he's doing that. I mean, are they trying to deflect away from their network that is failing and is in the middle of a credibility crisis?
I think what they don't realize, Kimberly, and I wrote about this today in FoxNews.com, I think they don't realize that every time they focus on a tweet or a meme or something that definitely got the American people's attention, they are completely vindicating this president when he says that they are fake news, when he says that this is a witch hunt. And I think while they think that they are sort of covering so that the Democrats can just continue to obstruct and be the party of no, what I think is in fact happening is that they are self-destructing, and the president's going to see to it that he carries this through to fruition.
It really is almost self-destructive behavior, Dinesh, that they're imploding, that no matter how many times they try and go with a false narrative that has absolutely no facts or evidence behind it of Russian collusion, now they're trying to go with this. The president is, mentally unfit. He should be